Америкадан сөйлеп тұрмыз. Армысыздар көпшілік, алдарыңызда Серікжан Біләш ұлы. Американың Техас штатындағы, қазақша айтқанда Техас штатындағы ЖүКТЕП радио бағдарламасы шамалы күн бұрын бізді аудио сұхбатқа шақырған болатын. Бұл жақта Zoom бағдарламасы жақсы қолданылады екен. Сөйтіп, Zoom бағдарламасы бойынша онлайн ЖүКТЕП радиосына сұхбат берген болатынбыз. Осы сұхбатымыздың аудио нұсқасын сіздерге ағылшынша түп нұсқада бердік. Сұхбатқа 3 американдық және мен 4-ші болып қосылған болатынбыз. Zoom программасында бұл сұхбатымыз тікелей эфирде берілді. 3 американдықтың қойған сұрақтарына осы өзіміз көтеріп жүрген Қытайда қорлық көріп жатқан 3 миллион қазақ және тағы басқа түркі текті мұсылман бауырларымыз туралы айттық. Біздің Қытай экспансиясы туралы, Қытайдың Қазақстандағы күннен күнге күшейіп келе жатқан экспансиясы туралы айтқан әңгімемізді ағылшынша білетін азаматтар түп нұсқасынан асықпай тыңдай жатар. Бүгінгі күнде Қытай бүкіл Орталық Азияны өзінің ілкіне алып үлгірді. Орталық Азияның барлық байлығы, мұнайы, газы, алтыны, ураны, барлығы дерлік Қытайдың қолына өтіп болды. Алдағы болашақта Орталық Азияны Қытай билігі судан қысуы мүмкін. Судың басын алмасаң, су менікі демегін деген ата-бабамыздың ежелгі ескі сөзі есімізден шығып кеткен. Біз пақырлар болашақта Қытайға су жағынан да, қаржы жағынан да, тағы басқа барлық жақтан мұқтаж болып қалуымыз бек мүмкін. Қытайдың күннен күнге ұлғайған экспансиясы, әсіресе өзінің боданы қарашасы болып отырған қазақтарға жасаған қорлық зорлығы туралы американдықтармен емін-еркін жасаған сұхбатымызды асықпай тыңдаңыздар. Біздің бұндай сұхбаттарымыз өте көп, жуырда оның тағы бірнеше бөлігін сіздерге жариялаймыз. Негізгі айтарымыз да, айтқанымыз да, болашақта да айтпағымыз да сол Қытайдың қазаққа жасаған қорлық зорлығы. Яғни бұл күнде Қытайға қарасты, Қытайдың боданы болып, қарашасы болып отырған, өзінің азаматы болған қазақтарға жасаған анти-адамзаттық фашистік зорекер зорлығы, геноциді болса, екіншісі өзінің жауыз жез тырнағын Орталық Азияға созғаны туралы біз көп жерде өте көп рет сұхбат бердік, айтып келеміз, жазып келеміз. Бұндай сұхбаттарымызды алда тағы да көп мәрте тыңдай аласыздар. Ендеше ағылшынша түп нұсқадағы сұхбатымызды тыңдаңыздар. Тарихи естелік ретінде деп бұл сұхбаттарымызды сіздерге жариялап отырмыз. Қазақшасын қысқа нұсқа түсіндірдік. Құрметпен Серікжан Біләшұлы, Америка құрама штаттарының Техас штатынан.
Chat. Can't miss this show Friday with Friends at 9 a.m. right after us, right here on Hughes Channel 10-2. Always figure somebody interesting to talk to and talk about. Brent, are you surviving Snowmageddon 2021?
You know what, my friends? You know, the weather doesn't change a thing that I do, and it really doesn't. It really doesn't. And today's no exception. You know, every day I wake up is another day to live the mission. To ignite the greatness of people and to introduce great people to each other, like our guest today, Serikžan Bilal. He's a hero for the ethnics in the Xinjiang province that are being held in concentration camps by the Chinese government, the communist Chinese government. But on a lighter note, after this show, you're going to see Chuck Williams being interviewed. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Do they have a uniform on?
No, man. But I tell you what, you're going to learn some things about Chuck you may not know before.
Wow.
And I see Serikžan waving. How are you doing this morning, Serikžan?
Hi, hello everybody.
Good to see you, brother. Okay.
We're going to have to unmute his, mic there.
Yeah, let's unmute the mic.
There we go.
All right. All right.
Yes.
Special day, though, guys. I know you've been talking politics today. Well, I tell you what, we're still a free country, and I'm so honored to have this gentleman join us today. So I'm going to turn the questions over to you, my friend.
Okay, all right. Can you hear me, Mr. Secretary?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
You got to unmute your microphone there.
Yeah, unmute the microphone.
Yeah, I'm unmute.
All
Wonderful.
right. Sir, let me ask you this. In your country, it is sometimes tough to be a citizen. It really can be oppressive in certain factors and certain things. Here in our country, we have some obstacles to overcome. Maybe it's race, color, whatever. But comparing those two, do we sometimes come off as a little bit, I don't want to say soft, but not counting our blessings compared to, let's say, where you grew up in your world, where you have concentration camps? If you don't follow their line, you're out.
Yeah, I'm born at China, and now I think whole of the world know what happened inside of China, especially the northwest part of this country. And I live this country from 21 years ago, but I began to work about human rights issue, about in Chinese human rights, especially this Xinjiang region, and this region is a big amount of region, around 1 million, and this in the around 3 million people were arrested by Chinese officials and put to so-called re-education center. And everybody knows this is not re-education center, and we call it concentration camp. It is just like the World War II happened. The Nazi arrested millions of Jewish people. It is very similar. It is and worse than in that time. And the way I worked on this issue 5 years. From the 2016, I began to work on it, and my team called it ATAJURT, Kazakh Human Rights Organization, and it means ATAJURT. It means fatherland. Ata is the father, Jurt is land, and because we call it ATAJURT because we born at there, and our Kazakh human rights advocacy group, we are the first team working on this problem, and we collected around 30,000 video testimonies about these re-education camps.
My question, sir, if you will, is the Xinjiang region considered one of the more liberal regions of that area in China that would allow, that makes it more attractive to have concentration camps in it?
Yeah, the concentration camps begin from Xinjiang, in fact, nowadays, because this territory ruled by one of the Chinese communists called the Qinquanguo. But the concentration camps is before Xinjiang. It is beginning from the Tibetan region, called in Chinese language called the Xizang Autonomous Region, and the Xizang Tibet Autonomous Region. And because Qinquanguo controlled the Tibet before he moved from Tibet to Xinjiang. And this kind of genocide, not only the first time beginning in Xinjiang, it is around from the 1989. So I am a good speaker, good lecturer in my language, in Kazakh people. Millions of people like to listen me, but I'm apologize my poor English. So I most of in my speech I said so this kind of genocide, this kind of concentration camps begins from the 1989 in Tiananmen Square in Beijing. The Chinese Communist Party killed the Han Chinese himself at 1989 at the students' demonstration. And in one night, all over the world know, in one night they killed and arrested around 10,000 students. And after then, around the 2000 years, they began to arrest and kill the 5 million Falun Gong members. Everybody know Falun Gong members. And in that time, around 5 million people disappeared, and a lot of factors in the world, it shows that the Falun Gong members, it is connected to the Chinese government made organ harvesting about this 5 million Falun Gong. After that, they began to arresting the Han Chinese Democrats, writers, lawyers, and after that, they killed the millions of Tibetans. After that, they began to arresting the Xinjiang Uyghur peoples first. After Xinjiang Uyghur people, they began to arrest the second large ethnic minority called the Kazakh. I'm Kazakh. I'm born at Xinjiang, and the Kazakh people is the second largest big ethnic minority in Xinjiang.
We're going to take a break here. Hold on, we're going to take a break here real quick. We're going to come back and we're going to ask, how can we help? What can we do to change the situation? How as Americans can we stand up and not stand for this type of treatment of any human being anywhere in the world? We'll take a break. We'll be right back here on the chat on Newsday Amarillo and News Channel 10-2. All right, guys, good job. Sorry about that, Brant. I got him to get it off as fast as we
Okay, okay. We sure are honored to have you with us, sir. I hope you're doing okay today, and please give our regards to Bob Fu as well.
You know, most of us live in a comfortable cubicle world, and the evils of the world really aren't visited on our doorsteps as some other people. And if you told 9 people today, hey, there's some people being held in concentration camps, being tortured, they'd be like, no, that's World War II. Yeah, like I said, that's why I wanted to understand how here in a land of so much, compared to his land, you know, you got people throwing hissy fits over coffee orders. You write my name. Yeah.
And are you there, Seriksan?
Yes, I'm here. Yeah, I'm there.
We are so honored to have you, sir. Yeah. And we're grateful for what you're doing in the world. I look forward to seeing you face to face, one way or another.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish if as soon as possible, I wish I can meet with you.
Well, we definitely will meet, my friend. And we have a lot of mutual friends.
Gotcha, Austin. 49-15. 49-14 or 40, Chuck? 40. 40, 49-40? 40. All right, guys, we got to get out of this by 56, okay? All right. So keep that time in your mind, 56.
Can I lead with this, Dave, as a follow-up to where we just were?
Yeah, you can lead it off.
Thanks.
You're welcome. They keep talking about a sunrise. I'm going to have to get out there.
Yeah.
There is a sunrise.
Is it?
Believe it or not.
Yeah.
All right, 30 seconds.
Here we go.
Let's do it.
In Washington, D.C. Let's get Shaka from the phone.
Ready? Let's do it.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Good morning and welcome back to the chat. It's Friday, and we always got our man Brant Fricker here talking to a young man about the issues of the world today. Go right ahead, Mr. Chuck Williams.
Yeah, as a follow-up to that last question that you asked, Dave, dating back to Tiananmen Square in the late 80s, I was wondering wasn't that indicative of things were changing in China? And I'd like to know, was there any hard opposition put to it to put that type of action down, like to the action of the concentration camps? Was there any general consensus among the people that this is wrong and that there should be some hard opposition to it to quell it?
The Tiananmen massacre and the Xinjiang genocide, it is totally different. And the only one point, the common point of these two things is it is made by Chinese Communist Party. And the difference is Tiananmen Square, most of the students, the 99% of the students, they are Han Chinese themselves, the ordinary people of Chinese Republic. And the Xinjiang, they arrested around 2 million Uyghurs and 500,000 or 700,000 ethnic Kazakhs and Kyrgyzs and the Mongols, because Chinese Communist Party, why targeted this ethnic minority? It is very little population living in the northwest part of China, because Chinese Communist Party arrested the millions of them and killed the millions of them because of their face, because the Uyghurs, Kazakhs, by their face, by their origin, by their ethnicity, they are very different from Han Chinese. And the second, the religion. The Uyghurs and the Kazakhs, they are very different from Han Chinese themselves because their face is Islam. Third, also there are also a lot of Mongols. They are not Muslims. They are not believing to Islam. They are also arrested by high Chinese because Mongols, Kyrgyzs, Kazakhs, they are nomadic people. The three nations. Mongols are non-Muslim. They are believing Buddha. They are believing Lama, just like Tibetan. And Kazakh and Uyghurs are, Kazakh and the Kyrgyz, they are Muslim. But Kazakh, Kyrgyz, Mongols, the three nations, they are the last nomadic people in the world. And these three nomadic people, they are owning the most very beautiful places, pasture lands, grasslands, and the Han Chinese people, they want to occupy these lands from their hands. And these nomadic people, they get the land from the Chinese Communist Party after the Deng Xiaoping era, 1984. All these grasslands, all these pasture lands with waters, with lakes, very beautiful nature. The Han Chinese government, they get the privatization, and all Kazakh, Mongol, and the Kyrgyz, they has the ownership documentary. And Han Chinese, the Chinese government, they want to occupy or confiscate these lands from these nomadic people, but the law is not permitted to do it. So how could they get the millions of hectares of grasslands from the nomadic people? And they arrested them, and they said so many excuses. If anybody can watch overseas websites, anybody who listened to the Kazakhstani song or foreign song, anybody who used the WhatsApp app, or anybody who write email to the people who living outside of China, any kind of region, they arrested the millions of Kazakhs, Kyrgyz, and the Mongols, and after then they confiscated their grasslands. Because we collected around 5,000 video testimonies about the grasslands, and the people, the nomadic Kazakhs, lost their pasturelands, grasslands, and they have to work. They have to work inside the forced labor factory because government confiscated their grasslands. Even these grasslands belongs to these nomadic people until 2050. 2050. And the first of the...
I know the BBC recently did an article on the systematic rape and torture of these people in these concentration camps currently maintained by the Chinese Communist government. That is why rhetoric that is coming out of our own funnels about concentration camps for certain voters needs to be put down immediately, because this is a very real thing. It's a very real threat. It's a very real enemy that should not be owning any politicians or land in our country. And so we're so grateful for you, sir. And just like the guys asked earlier, how can we support you?
And the support is, I think, the two kind of support. First is politically support, and you as original American people, and let the more and more American politicians know about it, and the more American people know about it, more publish about that news about re-education campus. And secondary is let the American people boycott the Chinese products, especially the products from Xinjiang territory. The 1 month ago, the U.S. custom forbid import any kind of cotton and tomato products from the Xinjiang region, and it is a very good progress. It's very good progress about re-education campus, and it will be very helpful to my people who living inside the campus. But I wish if the U.S. government forbid any kind of products from China, it will be more and more helpful to my people.
Well, we thank you for your story. It's a tragedy, and hopefully we can spread the word out. And this should be front page. And our country should stand up for those who are being tortured, being killed, being re-educated, as they call it, which is just another word for, getting a bullet in your head. We've got to stop this.
Hey, I call that type of stuff ethnic cleansing.
That's what it is. Very pure and simple. Thank you for your time. We got to get out of here. Brant, we'll see you at Chuck on Fridays with Friends, and we're going to talk more about this.
Thank you all.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
We'll see you Monday morning.
Thank you, everybody.
Coming out of that, and wow, when you have something like that, when you're hearing that, and that's the thing, we're so isolated in this country. We think that ain't possible. They're not doing that. Going on
and the rhetoric that is being allowed to be broadcasted from our own new leadership, no matter what side of the aisle you are on, talks of concentration camps should be put down. Don't take it lightly, because the same thing you saw in past years in our country was the same playbook by Hitler and the same playbook by China, because people forget China was a Christian country. They did the same exact thing with young people, with rallies and riots, and with their media. So I salute you all for being willing to even touch this subject, because most people
when he started dealing with the Mongols, etc., and the Tibetans, that really hit home with me. That really hit.
Yeah, the Tibetan thing has been going on for almost 50 years now, but that's part of China's spread. If you look at them, they're trying to spread back and forth over each side of their borders, from the Mongolians to the Kazakhstan, the Uyghurs, and that's just what they do. I mean, they're like, it's like a octopus with tentacles. Just keeps going out further and further and further, and we think, oh well, I can buy a TV for $200, a 60-inch TV for $200. I'm all good. Well, yeah, but this is what you're financing. Now this is what you're financing.
What I wasn't going to say, and I won't say, they're on our northern border, folks. Mm-hmm. They're on our northern border. So this is very real, and so we got to put down this communist rhetoric, no matter what side you're on. Yeah, and we need to address the problem, but it's very disturbing what's happening. I've never seen a government fence itself off and guard itself off from its own people in America before, and so people like this have to take it seriously.
All right, guys.
Chinese people have always been fenced themselves off from the rest of the world. Always. For centuries.
Well, Chuck, you got a good story coming up. Thank you, sir.
All right. Hey, be careful out there, Brent, and
You too,
don't.
brother.
You got to get on that road this weekend or anything. You're safe at home.
I'm getting on the road about 3 minutes from now.
Oh,
You guys take
almighty,
care.
Brent. Come on, man. Be careful out there.
I will. Love you guys. Take care. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hey, we'll
Bye-bye.
talk to you, baby. Later.